Okay, so what we're working on today is section 1.3, when you solve equations with variables on both sides. So just some basic reminders of what we have to do, and then there's one last step that's new. So remember, to solve equations, you have to do the inverse operation. And so plus is paired with minus and times is paired with divide. You must distribute and combine like terms on each side. So if you have stuff on the left, you got to put it together. If you got stuff on the right, you have to put it together. Here's the new step. The new step is, let's highlight this. You need to move something to the same side. And our goal is to isolate the variables. So that is what you're moving to the same side. You need to move your variables to the same side. And then once you do that, you move the number that is not touching. Then you're back to the basics. Okay? So what I mean by that is, if I have a problem like this, there's no distributing, there's nothing to combine, so I just have to move my variables to the other side. I tend to move my smaller variable or my variables to the left. If you move your smaller variable, then you're not going to have a negative. So if I move this 3x, I'm going to minus 3x on both sides. And so I get 2x plus 2 is 7. And then you have a problem you know how to do. But again, I put the x's on top of each other. I could not put this 3x right here next to the 2 because it's not the same. So x's have to be lined up with x's. That's the most important thing. Okay? Now, the other thing that's going to happen now is that you're going to have different types of solutions. One solution is where I just solve and I get x equals some kind of number. For no solution and infinite solutions, what's going to happen is your variables are going to disappear. Your variables are going to be crossed off. Variables are gone. Okay? A no solution is something that doesn't work. It's false. And so a no solution is when you get a false statement, which is something like 5 equals 3. 5 is never going to equal 3, so it's false. An infinite solution is something that always works. So this is a true statement. And for a true statement, it would be something like 5 is equal to 5, because 5 always equals 5. Okay, so when your variables are gone, this is what happens. So here's an example of variables being gone. If I minus 2x on both sides, and I have to go put it over with this x, 2x minus 2x is gone. 2x minus 2x is gone. So 2 is equal to 3. And so this one, now I look and say, okay, there's no variables, so is this true or false? And this is false, so this problem would be a no solution. Okay. All right, so there's some symbols that we have that you could use instead of spelling out no solution and infinite solutions. The no solution sign is a 0 with a line through it, a slash through it. If you write your zeros like that, you can't anymore, because this actually means no solution. Infinite solution is the same thing as all reals. So what I do is I do 2 lines next to each other, and then I make an R. So that's infinite solutions. Okay? All right, so now let's go ahead and do some problems. Again, I start off by drawing my line down, and I look to see if there's any distributing or things to put together. And there are. I could put this together with this. And so I get 7x minus 3 is 8. And now you have a problem, you know what to do. I add 3 to both sides. So 7x is 11. And I divide by 7. So x is 11 over 7. You may turn it into a mixed number, but a lot of times in algebra, you're not going to want mixed numbers. You're going to want improper fractions, so you could just keep it like this. If you have a calculator, you can also turn it into a decimal. It's up to you. Okay, so here's the next one. Nothing to combine, so I just need to move my x. And I tend to put my stuff to the left, so I'm going to minus a 2x on both sides. And so I get 2x minus 3 is 3. Now I need to get rid of this minus 3 by adding 3. So 2x is 6. And now again, this is 2 times x, so I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So x is 3. Okay? All right, what I would like you to do is I would like you to try and start numbers 1 and 2. See if you can combine your like terms, distribute for number 1, and then see maybe if you can get the x to the left. Once you think you got it, press play. Okay, so you should have distributed and you would have got 2x minus 6 plus 3x is equal to 14 because again, I multiply 2 by each thing inside. So now a 2x and a 3x gives me 5x. I bring down my 6. Make sure you bring down the negative. A lot of people forget that, so be careful with your negatives. And now to get rid of a minus 6, I add 6. And so I get 5x is 20. And again, this is 5 times x, so I divide by 5. So x is 4. All right. Number 2, I look to see there's nothing to distribute, but I do have some stuff I can combine. 2x and 4x, that gives me 6x. Minus 3 gives me 6x plus 3. Now I need to get my x to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 6x. And it has to go underneath this 6x. And so 6x minus 6x is just gone. It's 0x, so I don't write it. So I get negative 3. Same thing over here. 6x minus 6x is gone. So negative 3 equals 3. So my variables are gone, and this is a false statement. So this problem is a no solution. Okay. All right, 2 more. I'd like you to try these on your own, and then when you think you're ready, go ahead and press play. Okay, I haven't changed colors. I'm tired of seeing red this morning. Okay, so I'm going to combine my terms on the left. Remember, if there's not a number in front of an x, you can go ahead and throw a 1 on it. And so now that's 2x with 1x, which is 3x minus 6. And then I have to distribute my x's here, or my x. I have to distribute my 3. So I get 3x minus 6. Now I got 3x on both sides, so I'm going to minus my 3x underneath the x. And look, I got another one where they cross off. But this time I have negative 6 equals negative 6. That's a true statement. And so true statements are all reals. Infinite solutions. Anything I plug in will work. Okay, so last one. Draw my line down. Nothing to combine on the left. Nothing to combine on the right. So this one is just moving my x. So I got a 1x, so I'm going to subtract it on both sides. 4x minus 1x is 3x. Bring down my plus 6 and my minus 9. Then I'm going to minus 6 on both sides, so I get 3x is negative 15. And now I just divide both sides by 3. So x is negative 5. And that's it. So remember for these, the first step is just like what we did on our previous notes, where you always distribute and combine your like terms first. Again, the only new step is this one we highlighted right here. Move your variables to the same side. If you notice, I took all mine to the left. You can take them all to the right. It's really whatever you're most comfortable with.